Luke says very clearly in Luke 21, verse 25, there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. And the Lord revealed to me to share with Pastor Dave and his audience of what the signs, how to interpret them. Because they're not events that happen on the sign. They're counting points you start from. So if you count 7 years from the Revelation 12 sign, it tells you September is the starting point of 2024. And then there was 2 signs this year. The first sign was the eclipse. Incredibly, 40 weeks is inauguration. How does that happen? But it did. The next sign was Jacob's trouble, was a sign of Jacob, written in Numbers 24, verse 17. 3,500 years ago. And then second witness by Jeremiah 2,500 years ago talked about Jacob's trouble. And when Jacob's trouble, the star appears, men say they can bear children. That's happening right now. We're in Jacob's trouble. That's where we're at right now. And so 40 weeks from the star of Jacob, Jacob's trouble continues, and it's going to go into birth. 40 weeks, which is the 4th of July. And what a coincidence. Jesus was 6 months younger than John the Baptist. How does that happen? But it is. The birth of Jesus marked the birth of the New Testament age. The star of, and there was a star then, the star of Bethlehem. Now we got the star of Jacob in September. 40 weeks from the star of Jacob of September 27th is the 4th of July to the exact day, which represents the birth of the kingdom age.
Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked, because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Take 5. We have Polny and Andrew Sorchini with Beverly Hills Precious Metal back in the house with us to talk about the Bible, the world, silver and gold, God's money, and more. Welcome back. Exciting days we live in.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for having us back. And this is the last time we're all going to be together for this year.
That's right. That's
Absolutely. Right. Yep. So I got my Christmas tree going here, and all good things are coming. So happy early Merry Christmas. And I got to tell you, it's going to be awesome into the end of the year yet. So the year is not over. So fasten your seatbelts for this year and then early next.
But we're sitting right at that 32. It's you've talked about $32 an ounce for a long time. That's the support level. It did dip below for a while, but not for too long.
The roof was 32 to 33. It penetrated that, and then they slammed it back down. And what do? The roof, the earlier roof of $30 on silver became support. And so what happened? It dropped down and it went through, I think it was 2960 or 2980. It was like right there. It was right at that 30 level on silver. It hit support twice. And that was in late November, or I think the first couple days of December, and then it turned up. So now we're back up at 32. I do not expect that we're going to see 30 again. So I think that was it. That should be it. So what I believe right now, what I'm seeing, and I want to kind of put this out there for everybody to know in advance, because again, our job is to warn people of what's coming. Okay. You can do whatever you want. That's called free will. But God scripturally has written, there's Haggai 2 verse 8. It says, the silver and the gold are mine, saith the Lord. Nowhere in scriptures does it talk about the fiat money. The Federal Reserve note is God's. Okay. Yeah, they wrote, in God we trust. Understand who wrote that. That was the bankers. The bankers are the they of Revelation 2 verse 9. Okay. So what's written on your dollar bill when it says in God we trust? No, that's in their God they trust. God's money is gold and silver. God tells us in Haggai 2 verse 8, the silver and the gold are mine, saith the Lord. God's about to flip the financial scales. A lot to talk about today. Okay, but the scales are going to be flipped. When this event happens, you're going to see, and we are all going to witness gold, silver do an absolute moonshot vertically, and that's going to continue for years, okay? But when this event goes down, good luck on trying to get silver, because like we've talked about, when this event goes down, all dealers, not just Andrew, all dealers across the United States are going to shut their doors because the price is exploding so dramatically. No one knows what the heck they're supposed to be selling it for, what's going on, it's just going to be complete chaos. And also understand, when Jesus died, he went in the tomb for 3 days. When Lazarus died, he went in the tomb for 4 days. Understand the death of Lazarus, and Pastor Dave can confirm this. Lazarus died after Hanukkah, but before Passover. This is in scriptures. Hanukkah this year actually starts on Christmas Day, the 25th of January, and ends on January 2nd. So December 25, Hanukkah starts. Hanukkah ends on January 2nd. It's interesting that Passover then is in April. What did I say? Lazarus, something the Lord revealed to me very clearly, which I kept seeing this in a dream over and over and over again. That's why I know it was the Lord. He said, this is going to be comparable to a Lazarus moment. So whenever you read James, I think it's James 11, in regard to Lazarus, every time you see, the word he, you replace that with United States. So United States is going to die. It's going to be a scary moment in time, because it's going to be what we've coined a baptism for the United States, the death of the corporation and a rebirth of the republic, the original republic that was founded one nation under God, not all these bankers who create this money out of thin air. And so understand that when this event goes down, it's going to be wild to watch, but everything's going to go dark. It's going to be comparable to Lazarus. And so, again, it's after Hanukkah and before Passover. So let me ask you, all the viewers that are listening, what event is after Hanukkah, January 2nd, but before Passover in April? What historic event is manifesting in our world? How about the inauguration? You see, so the inauguration is right exactly parallel to the story of Lazarus. Go read scriptures. So the time point is very interesting, and this is what I want to bring up. When you read the story of Lazarus and why Jesus waited, and then that finally on the fourth day, what was the whole essence of the story of Lazarus' death? It's written right behind Pastor Dave. The word is glory. The point of the Lazarus story is so that we might see the glory of God.
Mm-hmm.
What are we waiting for? We are waiting for that moment in time. Because when the glory comes upon the earth, everything we know is going to flip and shift. And I want the people, the viewers, to understand that the Trump presidency, number one, the first one, was an uphill battle. The second one's downhill. Why? Because the glory showed up. And in that time point, we step into the kingdom economy, the kingdom age, the golden age.
Golden age.
What do you think you should own during the golden age? What should you be preparing for if we got the golden age coming? Okay, I know not a lot of people, not many people, or some people cannot afford precious metals. I get it, okay? But still, silver at $30, $32 is not the craziest thing to buy at this moment in time. But the golden age is this far away, okay? We're so close to stepping into the golden age. Trump will restore the gold standard. Pastor Dave has referenced this several times in our podcast. He has heard it through his sources, okay? Everything you understand about finance is about to flip and change. It's coming, and we're very, very close right now. And so that, again, always back to Andrew. Is there availability? How easy is it to get it? Are the supplies still there? How long does the process take? Because I'm telling you, today's the 11th of December. The inauguration's 6 weeks away. You've got such little time to finish up your shopping list for January. So yes, Christmas is coming, but I hope everybody's preparing for what's coming at that inauguration and afterwards, because it's going to be a flipping of the scales, and it will be comparable to the time point of what Lazarus experienced. That time point was so we might see the glory of God. It's coming. And so I just want to start with, I hope people have listened to us. We've been right about so much over the past few years now, but I just wanted to start this whole thing off with, we've got, this is what we've been waiting for. We're almost here.
Yep. Close.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. We've actually seen a lot of activity here, and we've seen a lot of buying. We've seen a lot of selling, and that was one of the things that I really wanted to talk about. Is right now the product is available for people that do get involved with gold and silver that have been on the sidelines. You're able to do it while the premiums are low and the shipping times are quick, and this is so important. Okay. I would like to reference what Bitcoin has done over the last year. So on this exact day in 2023, Bitcoin was $43,000 for one Bitcoin. Okay. Today it's sitting at just over 100,000. Now, I'm not telling people that they should go into Bitcoin. To me, the true store of value out there, the true hedge against inflation, the thing that's really going to protect your entire portfolio in good times and bad is always going to be precious metals. They've been around for thousands of years. They're going to be here long after all three of us are gone. So what I'm seeing is a lot of people that have had gold and silver over the past few years have cashed out a portion of it or all of it and moved into Bitcoin, and they're chasing. Okay, these are the people that when they see stocks like Nvidia at a near record, that are chasing into Nvidia when it gets in the headlines, and then they're selling their Bitcoin. And then when they see that gold's at a high, then they're selling their Nvidia prematurely, and then they're getting into gold, and then they have an emergency, and then they want to sell the gold for less than what they paid. You don't want to be chasing; you want to get in early. So the time to liquidate assets to get into Bitcoin, if that's something that you thought you should have had, that would have been a year ago. And it's what we talk about here on these interviews is gold and silver, not necessarily being something that you could make money with. Okay. We talk about the price points a lot, but really it's preservation of capital. And that's what gold and silver offer. And I sent over an article today that I was hoping we can talk about. It's one with the Fed Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, and he's saying that the huge rise in Bitcoin is not a threat to the dollar. He's saying it's a threat to the gold. But to me, gold and the dollar aren't together, because one is a tangible asset and the other one is printed out of thin air. most of the cryptocurrency is in an infinite supply. For example, Dogecoin, every single morning that you wake up, there's more Dogecoin available than there was the night before. Some people could say that that's the case for Bitcoin, but that will be capped out at some point when the 21 million Bitcoin are all mined. But most of these cryptocurrency can continue to be made or mined or just added the same way that the US dollar can do, or any other fiat currency on the planet. So I am a fan of cryptocurrency. I do think that it's a straight gamble. If you put money into it, it's a huge gamble. And to me, people that invest in gold and silver should be very cautious about cryptocurrency, because if you saw most of the altcoins here in the last 24 hours, many of them were down 15%, including XRP. I saw Dogecoin, I saw Shiba. A lot of them were down 15%. For people out there that are retired, that are in Bitcoin because they had the fear of missing out, FOMO, those people, if you lose 15 or 20% of your transaction, that's, and if you're retired, those are funds that you can't go back and earn again. So you need to be a lot more cautious and not go so heavy on the cryptocurrency and go heavier on the gold. And I just would like to finish this rant by just saying that gold hit $2,800 an ounce briefly last month. Then gold dropped like $275 an ounce. And it dropped because that was money flowing into Bitcoin and out of gold. Well, people are still looking at cryptocurrency, and gold today is at it's up $20. It's at $2,714 an ounce. It's just $76 away from its all-time high. It will break through that. And I too am watching that inauguration date for something. I do believe that that's when we're going to see gold blast off. We're going to see, I think right now is like the victory lap for the Trump win, from now until the inauguration. And I think once he comes in, I think then that's when reality is going to set in, and you're going to want to pull back the reins on some of these aggressive investments and start to be a little bit more cautious. And to me, cautious is owning gold and silver.
I want to chime in and add into what you were just saying there with regards to cryptocurrencies. It's actually the exact opposite. What I'm personally doing is I'm selling my Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to buy silver and gold. Why? Because look at the math on this, right? So the example, this is the people that don't chase anything. The rule is buy low. This is just a rule of anything, right? Buy low, sell high, right? Yeah. You don't buy high. If you buy high, you're chasing. So look at Bitcoin, $100,000 on Bitcoin. Those that were fortunate enough that have a few Bitcoin, right? If you bought a Bitcoin, if you sell right now one Bitcoin as an example, I'm telling you, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm saying if you by chance sold one Bitcoin at $100,000, you could right now get 36 ounces of gold. 36 ounces of gold. And when God intervenes, you're going to see gold go to numbers probably like Bitcoin.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy. Okay. You can also right now at $35 with a spread on silver, get over almost 2,800 ounces of silver, 2,800 ounces of silver for one Bitcoin. That's this deal of a lifetime, because again, blessings are 30, 60, 100-fold. We're talking a monster box of just 500. At 100-fold blessings, that's $1 million per monster box on silver, which is 500 ounces. So I'm just telling you, I don't want to give people financial advice. I'm telling you, God has put it on my heart to have people understand the financial systems of fraud. Okay. And Bitcoin is the release valve right now for the financial system. So all the people with the global elite, they created the Bitcoin. Why? Because they knew that this stuff would happen. They'd be creating money out of thin air. And so they want to funnel all this money into cryptocurrencies, because they need to have it go somewhere, because the laws of physics say energy isn't destroyed, it's transferred. And so we're seeing right now energy being transferred into cryptocurrencies. So what Jerome Powell is saying is accurate. They're using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a release valve for the screw ups and all this money printing in the financial system. So he's correct about it, but this is the problem for them. And then. Actually, the best word in the Bible, not even the word and then, the best word in the Bible is the word suddenly.
Yep.
And suddenly, God shows up. And all of their plans for transferring all of this energy into cryptocurrencies, all these other digital assets, blows up in their face, and God uses their plans against them. So we get to enjoy the spoils of the cryptocurrencies, which was only to be for them. And then on the suddenly moment, we're going to see gold and silver blow vertical to prices we can't imagine. And why I'm saying that is because damages initially, scripturally, this is not my opinion, scripturally, damages are sevenfold. So you take the price of silver at a base of $20, that's $140 silver minimum when God intervenes in a very short order, maybe a few months. Okay. The other side of it, if you use it at 30, that's $210 per ounce. All I know is silver very shortly is going to be triple digits, not even double. Okay. The initial target's $68, and that's just for a few days, maybe a few hours. Then they're going to hammer it down, and then it's going to go 3 digits. Okay, is it 140? Is it 210? I don't know, but I like both of them. And on top of both of those numbers, then that's only damages. Then you got blessings, 30, 60, 100-fold. People, God's not going to let evil and their plans succeed. God is going to step in because he's a way maker. He's a miracle worker. He's a promise keeper. He's a light in the darkness. Pastor Dave has had numerous people on his show from Barry Winch, Julie Green, and other prophets. And what are they stating? Wealth transfers coming. It's coming. God doesn't lie. He speaks through his servants, the prophet, and he prophets, and he speaks things into existence. God has spoken through his servants, the prophets. We are having a wealth transfer. It's coming. We've said it before. The first thing out of the gates is cryptocurrencies. Well, Bitcoin's at 100,000. Check. We got that right. I said the next thing is gold. Gold's already moving, but it's at 2,700. And the last thing out of the gates is silver. When that thing goes, you want to be a part of that experience because it's going to be biblical. The most hated asset in the world is going to be the most wanted asset in the world. Next year into year after, it's going to be the most desired asset globally. Everybody is going to want silver. It's going to be incredible what's about to happen. And again, what Lord revealed to me very clearly is I believe the event that we're waiting for, we've seen it now in cryptocurrencies, but we're going to need the golden age steps in when Trump steps into office, which means that I would expect shortly thereafter, probably as the month is ending, January, you're going to see moves in precious metals are going to be staggering and mind-blowing. So all of this is going to trigger, and Trump does bring in the golden age. He flips the financial scales on the global elite. They're going to try to bring down the United States. The Kim Clement prophecy was they will bring this nation to its knees. Okay, so I would expect there's a high probability when this event goes down in gold and silver, at the same time the U.S. gets involved in the military conflict. I would suspect that all power goes down possibly in the United States. We go dark because when Lazarus was in the tomb, remember, he was in the tomb after Hanukkah and before Passover. Lazarus in the tomb, he was dead in the tomb for 4 days. So we are going to go dark. Was it 3 days? Is it 4 days? Is it, whatever? I don't know, but we're going to go dark. The United States will go dark for a short window of time. And then we will hear the sounds of great victory. So be on the correct side of history, people. God bless you.
Glory days are coming, the golden age. I was meditating on the Lord this week about cryptocurrency and silver and gold, and he kind of chuckled to me and he said, silver and gold are mine, saith the Lord, and silver especially is going to go through the roof. And we're going to have a near-death experience, Lazarus experience, as you've been saying, Bo. And it was 4 days because nobody on earth in ancient Israel thought they could bring anybody back because the soul and spirit would leave after three days. But Jesus, the Son of God, brought Lazarus back, and that's going to happen to us. We're going to see his glory moment. God is going to show his glory when it looks like it's over, but he's going to triumph. We'll be right back after this.
Beverly Hills Precious Metals Exchange is a client-focused firm devoted to assisting our clients with precious metals. Our clients range from first-time to serious coin collectors and investors seeking to add precious metals to their investment portfolios. We are not interested in volatile investments, leveraged products, and intangible assets. With rising inflation and a devaluing of the dollar hurting middle-class families, investing in gold and silver ensures protection for your hard-earned money. Save the value of your money today by investing in gold and silver at Beverly Hills Precious Metals.
All right, we're back. Our commercials are probably as good as the show itself. So I'm going to turn it back to you guys. What we were talking about, you guys were talking about in the commercials about the Monster Box and Bitcoin. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'll just start off real quick and set it up for Bo because this is how it happened on the break. I thanked Bo for making the comments that he made after my rant, and told him he was right on the money. I showed him a text right on my phone that went to one of my sales associates while we were on this interview of a gentleman that wanted to pay for a Monster Box with Bitcoin. And I told him that's what he should be doing. I want these people to know that that's what they should be doing, is taking profits on Bitcoin now, not taking money out of your HELOC, not taking money out of the corner of your safe deposit box at the bank or whatever. Right now is a time to be cashing in on some of the cryptocurrency you've been holding onto. So hopefully Bo could say it exactly how he said it a moment ago on the break.
Absolutely. No, this is the exciting part because, see, the ultimate coin to always hold is what's made by the treasury of the country you live in. So in this country, the United States, like in Canada, it would be, I think it's your the Maple Leafs, right? And here in the United States, it's the Eagles. So you want to have the treasury instrument of the country you live in. And so here in the United States, the ultimate coin for holding would be silver Eagles. Not the numismatics, just the most current year of the past few years is, to my opinion, the best coins to hold. Okay, that's my opinion because they're out of the treasury. So not only is it silver, but it's silver that came out of the U.S. Treasury. Not the Federal Reserve System. That's separate. That's the bankers out of London. The Treasury out of the United States. Okay, so all UCC codes are written on that. And so you're buying, and then so in a box of called a Monster Box, it's like this green box you get, potentially, if you do blessings on that, there's 500 coins in a Monster Box. And if you do blessings at 100-fold times a base of 20, you're looking at $1 million for a Monster Box. Now, again, that's not financial advice. I'm just telling you, I'm doing the simple math, okay? I take the scriptures at 100-fold blessings. You do a base of 20, that's 500, that's 600 per ounce. So mathematically, that works out on 500 ounces. You're looking at $1 million. Now, this is the crazy part, right? For one Bitcoin round that people and me bought a while ago for 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, whatever it is, right? You could unload one Bitcoin right now. And I'm not telling anybody what to do. I know what I'm doing. I know that Bitcoin's about to go higher. And when this happens with XRP and all the other coins are about to go before Christmas, when this event happens, I'm going to be unloading some of my coins, digital coins, and buying more silver. Why? Because just right now at 100,000, you could buy 5 Monster Boxes. Think about that for one Bitcoin. So that's a great point you made, Andrew. Like, rather than looking at a HELOC or other avenues, to me, I would never be chasing Bitcoin right now. because the rewards aren't there. Because even if Bitcoin goes to 200,000, it will. Okay, if Bitcoin went to $500,000, which it will in time, not next year, it will go to $500,000. That's only 5 times. That's 5x. We're talking silver. It damages it sevenfold, and that's going to be in the near term, not years and years out. So, people, if you're chasing Bitcoin, you're chasing the wrong thing. Okay, so exciting times are here. Again, maybe we went too much on the cryptocurrencies here, but it's just we got to make a point of don't chase the thing that's been running first. You always want to chase the thing that hasn't moved yet. It's called buying low. And so that's how I look at it. I know what's about to happen here. So I'm super excited because God's not going to back down to these people. Actually, the best analogy is they're walking into the trap of a lifetime. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening. Pharaoh walked into the trap of a lifetime. God didn't make Pharaoh walk into the Red Sea. It was a personal choice. Pharaoh willingly walked into the Red Sea with his entire army. Willingly. You see, all these people, God's given them time to turn from their wicked ways. Yet most have dug in their heels. And so now all their last step for them is simply they're going to walk into the trap of a lifetime. You can't stop what's coming. God's already written the future. He's spoken through his servants in scriptures and Revelation. He's written the future. Through his servants, the prophets, he's repeated and give more definition and understanding of what's been written in Revelation. Pastor David's had many of the prophets on his show. What I'm saying is, it's written, it's been second witnessed by the prophets. I'm telling you furthermore what's been coming and what's happening. Pastor Dave, myself, and Andrew, all three of us are here further saying why it's important to be positioned and be out of the fake financial system. So what we're saying is, and for the past many years, we've been right about everything. The only thing that's been missing is the final blow vertical on silver. We've seen gold already moving. We're stepping into the greatest time point in human history. I'm telling you, the Lazarus moment is coming, and we know Lazarus scripturally. It's after Hanukkah, before Passover, and lo and behold, right in the middle of that is the inauguration. So expect pandemonium in the Whitehouse. That's actually scripture. No, that's actually a prophecy of King Clement. Pandemonium in the Whitehouse, okay? All this is coming down. There's going to be wars and rumors of wars. This is going to be a moment in time that the global elite cannot let happen. Think about this. Look at what they've been doing for the past 7-8 years with Trump and everything else in the world, okay? They can't let him in. No, they can't let him in. If he gets in, it's going to be the worst. It'll be a nightmare. It'll be the worst day in history for the people that have been working against him. And that's why this ultimately ties into what's called the great and terrible day. Great for those who prepared. Great for those. That's the Joel 2:31, I think. Those who prepared, those who know what's coming. It's going to be scary, but great at the same time because we know God revealed his secrets. But terrible, meaning the worst day of their lives is this far away. And so in order to prepare, God's going to rip away the bondage. So you take the yokes off of our neck. In the past podcast, we talked about the Jeremiah prophecy. God's going to remove the yokes off of our neck. That's the bondage. The bondage will be broken. But the thing to understand is blessings are going to be achieved by those who were wise stewards and got rid of the fake money and converted that money into real tangible assets like gold and silver. And, that takes me to, again, so with Andrew, if people reached out to you, how long? Because, again, we've got a window of time into the inauguration here, okay? So it has to be complete. The transactions must be completed before the inauguration. I'm not telling people what to do. But if you choose to buy precious metals, I want to say this. If you choose in your heart that you want to buy precious metals for yourself and your family, and it's your personal choice, your free will to do something like that, I'm telling you what the Lord has revealed to me. It has to be completed before the inauguration. So that said, Andrew, how long do things take? Especially with 401ks, IRAs, and things like that.
Well, we've had so many people that have listened to us for years now, that have reached out and rolled over portions of their IRA or 401k into precious metals IRAs. And years ago, it would take 2-3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks to get them set up. Lately, it's only taking 7 to 10 days, and that's even with holidays mixed in there. So it's become such an efficient process. And now we do have people that are exiting out of some of the cryptocurrencies and putting it back into gold and silver. We have other people that are taking their 401ks and taking a little bit more of it and converting it into gold and silver because they can see what's coming. Now, for the cash purchases, if somebody were to reach out to us through the partners page and fill out the online form and schedule a consultation, we're getting with them within 24 hours. If they do a transaction, they usually make payment in a day or two. Once we receive payment, the order will ship in 1 to 2 days after that. So I believe the email that we send out when it says it's paid is that it says some items can take 2 to 3 weeks. That's an old template. They're shipping in 1 to 2 days. So it won't be that way forever, but it has been that way for the bulk of this year. So this is a time to take advantage. The time right now for silver is the scenario that I talked about last year for Bitcoin when it was less than half of where it's at now. It's just like Bo said, you need to get into it before it's at the front of the heap. So at the front of the heap, I would have to say are both gold and Bitcoin, and silver is left so far behind right now that it really can only go up. Silver will have its time, and it's got to be sooner than later.
It's coming. As a matter of fact, my son and I have been talking about it. He's going to get more. I'm going to get more. But going back just a couple of years ago, and to Bo's point, it hasn't taken off this rocket ship like it will. But I think we started talking at this as about $16 in silver. Now it's over 32. So you would have doubled your money. Gold was at $1,600, $1,700. You'd be up $1,000. So that's not so bad. But the best is yet to come.
Exactly. And that's only our secondary goal, which is to make money on it, with the first, the primary goal being preservation of capital. And I just want to share this story. It's I had 2 clients that went in on a $10 million silver purchase back in 2014. And what I'm trying to do is illustrate to people out there that you need to have patience with silver. One, if you believe that silver is an asset that is going to protect you in the short term and provide you with a good chance to hit our secondary goal and make money with over a longer term, it is. And this story will do nothing but solidify it. So back in 2014, these 2 gentlemen did a $10 million deal in silver. And for about 2 or 3 years, they would check in with me, and they often and say, Andrew, silver's up $1, down $1, up $1, down $1. It's not really doing anything. And I'm seeing other things take off, like stocks and real estate and cryptocurrency. This is from 2014 to 2017. And I would just say, look, you just got to have faith in the decision that you made and just know that it's a good one. This isn't a decision that you just made on a whim. You thought about it for a long time before you did it. Just give it time. Now, fast forward to 2020, when the COVID shutdowns began, we had a bad week for a little bit there, and then silver blasted off. Now, fast forward to today. We're almost at January 1st, 2025, and silver's at $32 an ounce. When those guys call me to check in, they ask me about family. I ask them about theirs. We almost never talk about gold and silver because silver's gone from about $14 an ounce back then to $32 an ounce today. And the longer they hold it, the more that they can gain, because when we start seeing days like we've seen a couple times this year when silver goes up $2 an ounce in one day, $2 an ounce for them is, when they bought at 14, that's about a 15% gain from what it costs them in their initial investment every single time that silver goes up $2. And when silver gets to $50 an ounce, we're going to see days where it's up $3, $4, and $5 an ounce. So imagine if you bought it for $14 an ounce 10 years ago. And here's another great thing. You didn't have to get it. You didn't have to buy 10 years ago to get it near $14, because I sold Polny silver at the end of 2020 for $18.50 an ounce. So he bought a dip at the exact bottom. So I think that the key to silver and succeeding with your investment there is to just believe in yourself, believe in the decision that you've made, and more importantly than all, just have patience, because it takes time. And even with Bitcoin's been around for the better part of 10 years, technically a little bit longer. And they said for a long time it would hit 100,000. And people said, no way. But a lot of people said, yes, it will. And here we are. It takes time. It's not going to happen in a year or two. If you have things that have taken off in a year or two, then you've been blessed. But that's not the norm. So give it time.
I love how Andrew talks, because I can't disagree with anything you're saying, Andrew. And that's the conservative approach, right? So what Andrew's saying is a conservative approach, understanding, how finance works. And then there's the wild side of things, which is the biblical side of things. And so should we have a biblical intervention, which we are going to have a biblical intervention, then the conservative can be thrown out the window. And that's no disrespect to Andrew, because Andrew is here to be the level-headed one to speak into the conservative side of things, right? And so I'm on the other end here talking, the wild stuff. But again, Lord revealed to me what's coming. So I'm not going to back down. I'm telling you, from a conservative standpoint, Andrew's 1,000% right. From a biblical perspective, you need to multiply, okay? In the Bible, God only multiplies. He doesn't talk percentages, he only multiplies. So if you do damages, that's 7 times, okay? Blessings is 10 times. 30 times, 60 times, 100 times, okay? That's how God operates. And so why I reference these wild numbers is because they're impossible numbers, and that's exactly where my God operates.
Yes, he does.
And so because God operates in that, I want to share something with the viewers just to show you something that the Lord revealed to me, because this is very powerful to understand the math behind how this is coming together. I've shown the math of basically it's 4,000 years of the Jews, 2,000 years of the Gentiles, 1,000-year millennial reign, and there's your 421. If you multiply it by 2 or add them together, you get 248. This is divine math. I want to show you why I mean that. Is because if you take 248 years from the Declaration of Independence, which was July 4th, 1776, you get the year 2024. This year, this past July, which means we are in the 248th year right now. The 248th year, therefore, would end when? July 3rd, 2025. I'm not saying you got to wait until then, but I want people to understand what the Lord revealed to me. And Pastor Dave, I think, was going to appreciate this, to have you understand what the Lord has been revealing about his timing of things. And so let me ask you a question, Pastor Dave. How old was Jesus relative to John the Baptist? And the answer is, confirm it, is 6 months younger. So John the Baptist was 6 months older than Jesus. And this is in scriptures. So why I'm showing you this is because we're stepping into a rebirth of America, and there are 3 signs the Lord revealed to me. I've been working on this since this past weekend for like a few days already, putting this together. This is the newest that the Lord revealed to me, and this is incredible. And I'm revealing it here for the first time on your show, Pastor Dave. Look at what we're looking at here. So we got the eclipse. If we run 7 years from the eclipse, we get to September, the Revelation 12 sign. Revelation 12 sign. 7 years from Revelation 12 sign takes it to September 2024. If you use the eclipse, which was in April of this past year, if we do 40 weeks from the eclipse, you get to the inauguration date. How does this happen? 40 weeks is delivery. So from the eclipse, 40 weeks, inauguration. Inauguration of what? It'd actually be of John the Baptist. It'd be a type and shadow. Then we go from the Star of Jacob in September. We go 40 weeks from the Star of Jacob, lo and behold, to the exact day, the 4th of July. You can't make this up. From the Star of Jacob, September 27th, 40 weeks to the exact day is the 4th of July, which means that there's a 6-month window, just like for that which has been will be again. There is nothing new under the sun, which means that from The inauguration, we run 6 months. That takes it to the 4th of July, which means that from inauguration to the 4th of July, we've got a 6-month window for what? For repentance. Because what was John Baptist all about? He was specifically about repentance, to get baptized, but to repent from the wicked ways. Repent from your wicked ways. So God's about to intervene on the world. It's going to be a historic time point, but there's going to be shaking. There's going to be pandemonium. There's going to be chaos for a few months. Mark my words. And then we step into the greatest 4th of July the world has ever seen, because that's to the exact day. 40 weeks for delivery from the Star of Jacob, September 27th, 2024. All hell is going to break loose in those 6 months. And incredibly, some of the most powerful time points scripturally are in those 6 months. Because what do we got? Passover, Pentecost. Come on, look what happened historically. Pastor Dave can expand upon what happened at Passover at the time of Egypt and Israel. You're talking Moses. You're talking angel of death. Then you're talking the Red Sea miracle. Then we got Pentecost with the Holy Spirit coming on the apostles. So we've got probably the most powerful time point in human history in these 6 months between inauguration into the 4th of July. And this Pentecost is actually not until June of this year. So I truly hope people have been listening to us. I hope people have been reaching out to Andrew or whoever you're buying precious metals from and holding a position in precious metals, because precious metals, this is not about making money. Because Andrew's talked about some really big money, $10 million. A lot of people, that's not people's, position. What I'm saying is that when God multiplies, you don't need to have $10 million worth of silver. If you have one coin, God can multiply that 100-fold for you. If you got one monster box, imagine what that's going to do for you. What I'm saying is, if you're holding God's money, God can multiply things for you. And that goes back down to the feeding the 5,000. If the little boy didn't show up with the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread, Jesus would not have fed the 5,000. You see, he needed something to multiply. And so I want people to, the viewers here to understand that God's going to step in. The Lazarus moment is coming.
Yep.
I've given the window on that time window. I'm telling you, God revealed to me that it's going to go down in the Lazarus timing that was written in scriptures. And this is Ecclesiastes, that which has been will be again. And then following that, when we go, the United States goes dark, and then suddenly we might see the glory of God. That was a point of Lazarus, so that we might see the glory of God. That's coming. But then we're stepping into Passover, Pentecost. These are historic points in the Bible where everything changed. Everything, changed. Everything. And we were in that 6-month window. And incredibly, Luke says very clearly, Luke 21, verse 25, there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. And the Lord revealed to me to share with Pastor Dave and his audience of what the signs, how to interpret them. Because they're not events that happen on the sign. They're counting points you start from. So if you count 7 years from the Revelation 12 sign, it tells you September is the starting point of 2024. And then there was 2 signs this year. The first sign was the eclipse. Incredibly, 40 weeks is inauguration. How does that happen? But it did. The next sign was Jacob's trouble, was a sign of Jacob, written in Numbers 24, verse 17. 3,500 years ago. And then second witness by Jeremiah 2,500 years ago talked about Jacob's trouble. And when Jacob's trouble, the star appears, men say they can bear children. That's happening right now. We're in Jacob's trouble. That's where we're at right now. And so 40 weeks from the star of Jacob, Jacob's trouble continues, and it's going to go into birth. 40 weeks, which is the 4th of July. And what a coincidence. Jesus was 6 months younger than John the Baptist. How does that happen? But it is. Pastor Dave, think about that for a minute. 3 biblical signs that God revealed in the heavens. And the math points to inauguration and the 4th of July. Come on. This is and then the 6-month window correlates with John the Baptist and Jesus.
And it's
You
biblical.
can't make this up.
You can't.
It's
All through the scripture, 40 days is a period of wilderness before breakthrough and the glory stage comes. 40 days it rained with Noah, 40 days and 40 nights, 40 years the children of Israel out in the wilderness. Jesus was tested for 40 days. 40 is the number
Delivery.
before breakthrough. Delivery. Yep.
Woman's delivery is 40 weeks, right? 40 weeks. That's the point. We're waiting for birth. So Pastor Dave's mentioning 40 days, 40 years, and then lo and behold, full term for a woman is 40 weeks.
Birthing of a new age.
That's right. That's what this is. It's the birthing of a new age. Because when Jesus was born, he birthed, what did Jesus' birth represent? The birth of the New Testament age.
Mm-hmm.
So the Star of Jacob, 40 weeks from the Star of Jacob, is the birth of the kingdom age. Let me repeat that. The birth of Jesus marked the birth of the New Testament age. The Star of, and there was a star then, the Star of Bethlehem. Now we got the Star of Jacob in September. 40 weeks from the Star of Jacob of September 27th is the 4th of July to the exact day, which represents the birth of the kingdom age. The kingdom age. Let's double check the math. The Declaration of Independence, 1776. I showed you the math. 248 years ends on July 3rd, 2025, which means the 4th of July marks the birth of the kingdom of David, the new kingdom age, the golden age. This is what we get to witness, the move of God, equivalent to what happened with the birth of Jesus on the earth, the greatest time point in human history, equivalent to a Red Sea miracle, which would have been Passover into Pentecost, into May. This is what we get to witness. We get to witness the greatest move of God's Spirit ever in the history of the world. And the apostles, those waiting, are going to say to us, what was it like?
Exactly.
And we're going to say, it was joy unspeakable. So you tell me why I'm always happy, because I know what the Lord has revealed to me. And I know what's coming. And I want to thank you, Pastor Dave, for having me here. And I really hope people reach out to Andrew. Andrew, how can people reach you?
Go to bh-pm.com and fill out the online form and schedule a consultation. Most people in there put in the notes section as specific items as they can, like I want to learn how to roll over a 401k or an IRA into a precious metals IRA and do it without it being a taxable event. We love to see those. If you're somebody that's been investing in gold and silver for years and really don't need a consultation, please proceed with filling out the form and I'll have one of my associates call you.
All right, it's Glory Days.
Merry Christmas, everybody. God bless. Gee, we win. We win. This is going to be a great, great Christmas and a New Year. So God bless everybody.
Welcome to the Golden Age. All right, that wraps up today's Take 5. Go in his shalom.